Before I had to go catch a train, I watched some silly monkeys fall from the bushes. Only in India. The baby Taj Mahal. I had a few hours before I needed to go to the train station, so I checked out a tomb, which looked like a smaller version of the Taj Mahal. Like the Taj, it features some beautiful stones, which could really be appreciated when you got close. As I was looking at these stones, I heard the grounds come to life. Was it this little guy? Or maybe these Rhesus Macaque monkeys? They were running around all over. I was glad to see them having some fun, because in the US, when you usually hear about Rhesus macaques, it is because they are used in some medical research. There are thousands of macaques used in laboratories, and the usage of primates is controversial to say the least. But here in Agra, India, they are populated all around, and you can find them along the streets and houses and in the woods. Here the macaques can enjoy the company of one another and have large social family groups. There's always that one weird person in the family. This one was eating grass like there was no tomorrow. It was looking for that perfect blade. They provided some great entertainment for me. And as they took off, it reminded me that I had to go catch a train. Now the train station in India was interesting to say the least. There were lots of poor people asking for help, along with people jumping on and off the trains as they were still moving. It made those L train platforms back in Chicago look pretty tame. I made my way to the first class section. I was traveling in style, and began the countdown of this 10-hour-plus train ride. I spent the hours wide awake thinking of seeing tigers. And before I knew it, I was in the car on a 2-hour drive heading to the resort, which was on the other side of the park. My heart was pounding. I was finally in an area where wild tigers could be seen. And even though we were on a major road, I kept looking out my window for any signs of wildlife. Once at the Tiger Lagoon Resort, I was blown away by the size of the rooms there.
Feeling a little bit spoiled, to say the least.
I got the chance to finally wash some clothes. I tried not to make my room look too trailer parkish, and then I watched some birds outside my window. Were they bee eaters or flycatchers? If I could only see what it had, maybe that would help. But as I stopped myself from becoming a total bird nerd, I realized it was almost time for my first safari drive in the park. Our driver Baloo picked me up, and I had my eyes searching the roadside as we made our way to the park entrance. Bandhavgarh Park is a popular park and is split up into 3 zones. I made prior arrangements through Wild World India to do all my 9 drives in the Tala zone, which offers the best habitat for tigers and their prey. Now, unlike most safaris in Africa, you just can't drive into the park at any time. Here, they have a 4-hour AM drive, and what I was going to do right now, the 3-hour PM drive. The gates opened and we were off. I was excited to finally be inside the park. Also, unlike Africa, they don't seem to stop the jeep for just any animal. Here, the mission is clear. You try your hardest to see tigers, and all the other wildlife you sort of fill in as your quest unfolds. Our tour guide, or naturalist Rajesh, told me the key is to wait it out. And soon after, we spotted a pug mark from a tiger. And we heard some alarm calls. We sat still, hoping a tiger would come down from the hill. I waited for a long while, and finally, something came into range. Ah, a deer. Oh well. Where there is prey, hopefully there are predators. But this deer seemed pretty relaxed. And we weren't hearing alarm calls anymore. But you never know. We drove up a little and found a field full of Sambar deer. This is the largest species of deer found in India, averaging 500 to 1,000 pounds, 6 to 8 feet long, and they stand 4 to 5 feet at the shoulder. This male, or stag, had a huge rack. His antlers were very unique. This little female was curious. It was like she was looking right at me. We stayed at this location for a while, took in all the sights, and then we had to leave the park as our time was up. Well, one drive down, and I had 8 more drives left and hoped to see a wild tiger.
I hope you enjoyed this episode of Safari India. For more information on the items featured in this video, read the video's description. As always, thanks for watching. Namaste.